A very good morning and thank you for choosing us again. Now, despite the many brilliant people this country is filled with and the great accomplishments recorded by Ghanaians, many find their future here in this country getting bleaker each day and believing that they're better off checking out to see greener pastures abroad. Of course, they are inspired by the many examples of their peers who are living quite comfortably abroad, having taken that option to leave. Others, though, are also struggling out there. The director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISER, of the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Quartey, in a recent interview, he put it out that he's one of those who believe that Ghanaians can make it here in Ghana and is calling on government and other accomplished Ghanaians to educate the youth that they can live very comfortably right here in Ghana. This morning we are asking, do you feel you can make it here in Ghana? Also, 133 radio stations have been granted licenses. It includes Radio Gold, Radio XYZ, and many others that were closed down in 2017 after an FM audit. But there are conditions. We will get to understand these conditions they have to meet before being allowed back on air by speaking with some of the people who have been at the forefront to get the licenses restored. And then we've been having conversations in recent weeks about damage to road infrastructure during accidents and who pays for these damages to traffic lights and crash barriers. We have a firm answer for you. The National Insurance Commission will be joining us on the show with those answers. Stay tuned in. I'm Israel Aye, and I'll be doing this with Enimwa Enimado, the Adorable.
Good morning and welcome to the AM News here on the AM Show. My name is Enimwa Enimado, and in our very first story, Wawase, a farming community in the Ifija Kwabre South District in the Ashanti region, has been thrown into a state of shock and mourning after a 47-year-old man allegedly killed 3 people within 2 days. Kojo Eduse, a palm wine tapper, allegedly murdered his friend, claiming he saw him have an affair with his fiancée in a dream. He then stabbed and killed 2 elderly men, one being his grandfather, a day after residents retrieved the body of the first victim on a farm. Ohiming Teria of our security desk will bring us more details in a little while. But moving on, the cost of liquefied petroleum gas is expected to go up by about 40 pesos per kilo from next week. This is despite the removal of the price stabilization and recovery levy for the next 2 months. The tax relief was expected to cushion consumers, but the LPG Marketers Association say it is not enough to stall the increment.
Because 30 Ghana, we got 1 gallon na asa. Just say over a tier, any asalayo, Fitanopa, Butumgra, empty. Lord for Bebre Nante, Swatasia, and
to send upon Omo de Petronum, Emba 15 Ghana cities. Yes, Renupa, Nana, or Femi, if Mustafa, me a full MPP supporter, Miss Renupa, Momodia, Petronum, 15 Ghana cities, my.
Yeah. Sisia, send a petrol echo, and easy, Ubeto petrol 1 gallon, almost 30, Ubeko 3 trip. Petrol nasa, and Juman no, Yaya Juman more, petrol, wrong, and Tibran Hebre, yet me Pakua 3 hours. Passenger 3 nepel, and your 4 3 nepel, now so at times 2. Yeah, you call Mr. Me station master waha, wrong, and easy, yeah, bread too much.
Now, former President John Dramani Mahama has once again bemoaned the number of social infrastructure and economic projects abandoned and left to rot in some cases by the Nana Addo administration. Mr. Mahama was speaking during a courtesy call on the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs in Koforidua on Tuesday. Mr. Mahama and the NDC are on a tour of the country to thank Ghanaians for their support and votes in the 2020 election. This is the 3rd phase of the tour, which started from the Eastern region and will continue to the Western, Central, Volta and Oti regions.
Governments are enjoined to continue the projects begun by their predecessors. Unfortunately, it will appear that after 2016, the new government that came has either advertently or inadvertently refused to work on many projects that the previous government started. And I can name so many of them. There are road projects, there are hospital projects, there are school projects. I mean, I know in my brother Kwehumahin's jurisdiction, the famous Abetifi Hospital is crying for continuation and completion. If you go to other places, there are many of such hospitals that have been abandoned. I'm happy to note that the Somanya Hospital has been completed, but then it needs to be operationalized as quickly as possible. Government says it's going to build 111 more hospitals. If some have been finished, at least let them start working while you bring in the extra 111, or if some were ongoing, complete them and add the 111 hospitals. Unfortunately, it will look like there's more attention in cutting short for the new 111 hospitals than there is for completing the hospitals that are already under construction.
Apologies for that break. But let's move on to the National Communication Authority, who have approved the licenses of Radio Gold and Radio XYZ for operation. These stations form part of the 131 others who have been authorized to operate, subject to some conditions spelled out by the NCA board. This was the outcome of the authority's governing board meeting held on October 11th, 2021.
In a statement, the authority indicated that the beneficiaries include new applications from entities whose FM radio stations were closed down after the 2017 FM audit, as well as existing stations which applied for renewal of their expired FM radio broadcasting authorizations. In May 2019, the National Communications Authority shut down Radio Gold 90.5 FM and Radio XYZ 93.1 FM, both based in Accra. Officials of the NCA stormed the premises of the stations with armed security personnel while they were on air and ordered their immediate closure. They were then handed letters detailing the reason behind the order while asking them to reapply for license if they wished to operate as frequency modulation radio stations. 2 years down the line, the authority says it is ready to grant them broadcasting authorization subject to the applicants attending a sensitization workshop on the terms and conditions of FM radio broadcasting authorizations. In a statement dated October 12, the NCA explained that the provisional authorizations shall be issued to the successful applicants at the end of the workshop, and frequencies shall be assigned to the applicants only upon the fulfillment of the conditions of the provisional authorization.
There's been a desperate move to rescue flood victims in different parts of Accra who have been trapped in their houses, some for as long as 2 months. At Oyarifa Green Hills, a suburb within the La Nkwantanan Medina municipality, scores of residents were caged in their homes for as long as 5 days following weeks of consistent heavy rain. MCE for Medina, Jennifer Dede Ejabing, says officials of NADBO had been directed to pump out water from the homes of the affected residents. But the mission has failed, as authorities say the unavailability of drains in the area has made it impossible to pump out the water. Here is Deputy Regional NADMO Director Daniel Obing Isihine, who spoke to our sister station Adom FM.
We are not planning Of course, I had over 101. Yeah, course, if you when communities no free. Say when you should not trap when to me and
We have gotten so many calls today, and most of them are from this particular Oyarifa area. You can see our trucks parked there. We cannot pump the water because there are no drains to pump the water through. You can see the houses built on the waterways. Now we've checked at the houses. None of the houses here have drainage systems. And so it's become very difficult to pump out the water. Now we have the trucks and the machines, but can't pump it out. So we are going back to have a discussion with the municipal assembly to find out how to deal with the situation. We will check whether they have permits or they do not have permits. If they do not have permits, we'll just have to demolish the buildings and allow the water to flow. If they have permits, then we must prepare to give them some compensation before we can demolish the houses.
So permitting to say compensation means be ye for an year for now yet me dreams no na community no ubi no.
Meanwhile, a similar situation has caged residents of Ayika and Doblo within the Ga West municipality for close to 3 months. My colleague Manuel Kranting visited the area yesterday and now reports.
Well, it's usual for the place to flood, but it will always recede because the water flows through the culvert. The situation is different now because there's no culvert for the water to flow through. I'm just going to go a bit forward and then speak to them about how they have been living here. And this entire stretch are, inhabited settlement. We're told close to 8 households. 8 different households have been affected by this particular situation.
We are in the 3rd month now. It's 3 months now. The water has gathered at a certain spot. In fact, here, in front here, there's a deep hole there, and it's filled up. So the water flows from that hole around. We alternate ourselves to go and buy things for our house and keep it and be using food.
There's one of the affected victims who's just leading me into his room, which has been totally inundated by the water.
Because of water now, musi and inti. A man should not intiminko. Near face problem about and just said here and soon I day. Aban, we are better who has a tram and soon in our tree. As I make clean her and son and my bed, ababa beda. Nti yesre nipa bi aso mutume boy na yetimi so nya yaso modwe no yesre omon boy na yesi yebere pa yesi nja na pa edenu kwa mani bi mesesa na eba mesa na benja ase meja no ma afi no na koma to ne yem na afi sanwi a ansa metime sesa we nyina ansa na mambo enso mamu bi enu apake no ma nyina gu hai me yedem pama no aduane.
Well, he's been telling me that his entire room is flooded and he's had to wait it out because the more he drains the water out of the room, the more the water continues to fill up the room.
I saw about 2 big snakes and reptiles.
Is it safe for us to keep standing in there?
You are safe. Yeah, they only come for sunshine and then go back. The other day I met one just in front of my house. My whole place is flooded. And I can even tell you there's an old culvert there by the main road which has been blocked. So all the water from the E block or whatever come and there's a volume of water over here. It stocks there and it doesn't move away. Then it comes back to various areas. Almost, I can even say 8 houses have been affected. This is the drain. But over there, deep, about 3 feet down, that is where we can locate the old culvert, which has been blocked by the outer lane. When we go to it, has been blocked by that place. Also, all the water coming over from Akrama or whatever reaches, it's almost about 4 feet deep. So that is where the culvert is. Now, the drain has covered the top of the culvert. So the drain itself is useless drain. It is not serving any purpose.
But what has been the response of authorities? I want to. Have you made any attempt to get?
I met the federal roads engineer. NADMO has been here. The assembly engineer, not yet, but they are all aware about what is happening here.
The place looks waterlogged. Am I correct?
No, it's not a waterlogged area. There was a stream just in front here, about 10 years ago when I came here. So the old culvert, they've paved the old culvert purposely for that. But when the contractor was doing the road, instead of the contractor to connect the old culvert into the drain, he failed to do that. And instead, the drain is on top of the culvert. And then we got some estate guys around there. They have blocked the other place. So when water hits over there, it turns back.
And you are the ones that suffer for it now.
We are the ones who suffer.
And indeed, that's the situation over here. Now they've been caged in their houses, as you've been hearing them for close to 3 months around Ayikando. Efforts to get responses from authorities have not yielded much results. For now, though, they are left with, as you can see, the old man to be using, sticks and poles to support them as they walk through the pool of water that's gathered here. From here at Rasta Junction at Ayikando within the Ga West Municipality and the Greater Accra region. My name is Manuel Cronting for Joy News.
Well, that's it for the AM News, but the AM show continues right after this.
Right, so good morning once again, and it's time for the news review. Good morning to you, Enimweni Mado.
Good morning to you, the Israelite, the legend.
Pink.
Yes, it's a pink Wednesday.
Okay. Pink October, I guess.
It's Pink October, yes. So we're going pink, nose masks and all. But welcome, this is the AM show. And if you're just waking up, well, good for you. So good for you. I would give anything to be in bed right now, chilling under my duvet.
Why?
Because it feels good.
Yeah, but
doesn't
we have
it?
to work.
Of course we do, which is why we're here. And on time, and about to get into the newspapers.
Yes, and I'm going to start with the Daily Graphic. Do you have a problem with that?
Not at all. I said this week I'm behaving myself. So, yeah.
Okay,
Go
so
for it.
133 FM stations granted provisional licenses. Radio Gold, Radio XYZ among applicants. And this are the main things we'll be looking at today. But a total of 133 FM radio broadcast stations, including new applicants, could soon start operating. This follows the decision by the governing board of the National Communications Authority to approve the licenses of the unnamed radio broadcasting stations. However, the approval from the board is subject to the applicants attending a sensitization workshop next Tuesday, October 19, on the terms and conditions of FM radio broadcasting authorizations. So the big news in there is that 2 radio stations that were shut down in a 2017 FM audit are going to get their licenses back. What is not clear, though, is whether they are going to get the frequencies that they had initially. So Radio Gold, for instance, had 90.5. Don't know whether they're going to get that 90.5 back. Okay. But
sorry, Israel, we don't know or they don't actually know.
Okay, so the NCA hasn't said. And
so it's possible they may not get their frequencies back.
It's possible. Yeah, if
that's interesting. That it just means rebranding, and because with something like Radio Gold, for years Radio Gold 90.5, like it's like Joy 99.7, and then imagine if suddenly
it's a question we should ask. We should find out from the NCA whether Radio Gold can get the 90.5 back.
I mean, as far as I can see, it hasn't been given out to anyone else.
I don't think it has been given out to anyone else. But you never know. In the approval of 133
somebody else
authorizations, they probably have given it.
133. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But I suspect the 133 definitely won't be just in Accra.
Yeah, no, obviously.
It's all over the country. So
interesting.
Okay. But in other news, Kenya-Somalia awaits key sea border ruling. Okay, but this ruling has actually been made, and President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has said he totally rejects the ruling. So that's the very latest on that. Nigerian women children escape from Islamists. Okay. And still in international news, Kim vows to build invincible military. And right. And in gender, ECOWAS strategizes to combat gender-based violence, whilst Queen Mothers have been schooled on adolescent reproductive health. That's on page 13. And Parliament won't disappoint Ghanaians in LGBTQI+ bill passage. That's Chairman Somonsu, Majority Leader. This was live on Joy News Desk yesterday. Let me read you a bit of the story. So Majority Leader, Mr. Seche Mensah-Bonsu, has given an assurance that Parliament will not disappoint Ghanaians in the consideration and passage of the bill that seeks to criminalize lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, etc. activities in the country. He said members of Parliament were representatives of the people, for which reason the citizenry should rest assured that Parliament would not turn its back on them. Essentially, he says Parliament will do what the people want. And the people, he says, don't want LGBTQI. So, yeah, they're going to give it to them. So Parliament won't disappoint. That's the whole point. And GSA commits to improve ease of doing business. In politics, Dr. Dufour woos supporters for NDC. So election 2024, maybe 3 years away, but former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufour has initiated a campaign canvassing for more supporters for the opposition National Democratic Congress. In a 1-minute, 21-second video making the rounds on some TV stations and online platforms, the question is posed: what does the NDC mean to you? Okay. I've seen another, there's another headline in one of the newspapers where they're saying that Dufour divides NDC with new video. I've seen it in one of the newspapers. I'm sure we'll bring that to you. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll bring that to you during the review, before we end the news review. Okay. So don't lord it over people. Minister urges MDCEs and make inputs for constitutional amendments before October 19. John Boydu is urging MPP members. And then other news. Just so estate residents call for improvement in facilities. And the story about the police impounding motorbikes. We have police impounding 344 motorbikes fighting crime road crashes in Tamale. In the center spread, recruit right caliber of staff. Dr. Baumia charges Legal Service Board. Water for All initiative to be rolled out this year. And communication experts build capacity in electricity regulation. And we go to page 26. Illegal practices at sea. Fishermen flee from patrol team. 30 generators seize. So enforcement operations by the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture Development has recorded 77 infractions, which are at various stages of prosecution. Another story here on page 26. Police grab suspected armed robber. So it says, luck eluded a 45-year-old man believed to be behind the breaking into houses last Sunday when the police overpowered him while he was attacking a victim at Oyibi in Accra. So every day for the thief man, one day for the policeman. 300 at Wall of Excellence event. Catholic Bishops' Conference denies Muslim majority conference. And Accra Technical University launches 5-year strategic plan. Moving on to other stories. Newmont Achim pays government 110 million cedi dividend to governments. Okay, that's impressive. 110 million cedis. So government has money now. Well, government gets money all the time. Okay. And then Otumfuo Foundation to expand Benshia Hospital maternity block. And Angela Chirmanting-Jimo named among top women CEOs in Africa. So she's the regional head of IBM North, East, and West Africa. North, East, and West Africa. Angela Chirmanting-Jimo. And build stronger buffer for stabilization fund, PIAC. And in education, payment of affiliation fees. Private university colleges call for government intervention. I'll read a bit of that. So the president of the Wisconsin International College, University College, Ghana, Professor Obing Miriku, has appealed to the government to intervene in what he described as exorbitant affiliation fees charged by public universities that private university colleges are affiliated to. He said under the current arrangement, private universities are required to pay an annual service fee of 135 cedis per student admitted to the affiliated public university per semester, a fee he described as heavy. And Upuni trial, Supreme Court to rule on review on October 26. And Education Minister addresses UNESCO Executive Board. Support more companies to stay afloat. ICU to President. In sports, 2022 World Cup, Senegal through to Africa's playoffs. Enhance world title chances with Wabu fights. And we're talking about the World Cup qualifier. So yesterday, we have the Black Stars winning by 1-0 against Zimbabwe. And then South Africa also won their game against Ethiopia by the same 1-goal margin. So South Africa has 10 points and Ghana has 9 points right after.
Okay.
Okay. So that'll be it for the Daily Graphic. Anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to get into, of course, the Ghanaian Times this morning. And on the front page, mental disorders. Ghana loses $5 billion annually, representing an estimated 7% of GDP. That's according to the Mental Health Authority, Deputy Boss Dr. Caroline Emisa. Ghana poised to open up renewable energy sector for investment, according to President. Government. 2 others launched housing scheme for government workers in Accra. Oh, I feel like I've seen that headline so many times in my lifetime. Housing schemes. What do you think, Israel? Seen it as well. Housing schemes. The government is launching a housing scheme for government workers in Accra.
No, that tends to work, actually. The government tends to. It has to do with because it's more like you confine to the government workers. They're able to deliver on those ones.
Oh, so when it's large scale, that
we've seen the police, we've seen the military, government builds houses for them.
Yeah, and I think nurses, doctors.
Yeah, so they get to follow up on those ones and they deliver. But when it happens to be the large scale ones for everybody else, then the buildings will be done, but they'll be there. Nobody occupies them.
And then they get okay, Israel. Wow. Let's move on. Page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. Supreme Court rules on Attorney General's review application on October 26th. Accused opens defense in Major Mahama case October 18th. Then 4 remanded for allegedly conspiring to kill family head. Anti-gay bill, Parliament won't disappoint. Majority leader assures. Kenya, Somalia. Okay, Israel brought you all those stories. Ghana marks International Day of the Girl Child. That was 2 days ago, I think. Quality rights and mental health delivery. It's a feature on page 9 and going into depth about the fact that we lost $5 billion last year because of mental health issues. So maybe it's about time we actually start to do something about it, take it really seriously. Joblessness among youth triggers insecurity, of course. Redefine leadership to ensure conducive environments for international development. That's Senyor Hosida, Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. Sami Jemfi concedes NDC made mistakes in election 2020. Now, the WHO approval of vaccines for children under 5 is a game changer. The Ghana Health Service has said that the widespread approval of malaria vaccines for the children under 5 will be a major game changer in the fight to reduce the disease prevalence in the country. Very interesting there. Ghana poised to opening up renewable sector for investment. Okay, I brought you all those stories already. CSIR CRI organizes capacity building workshop for sweet potato farmers in Asesewa. Do you like sweet potato, Israel?
Yes, I do.
Atomo. Okay, report sexual harassment. Report sexual harassment on social media to the police. So the police are urging the public to report sexual harassment that they encounter on social media platforms for investigations. Because cyber abuse and cyber all that stuff is a real thing. So stakeholders advocate stiffer punishments for impregnating underage girls. Okay, that's very important. let me see that they've coined 2 hashtags. So stakeholders in the Eastern region have coined 2 hashtags to promote stiffer punishments for those who impregnate younger girls, which is very interesting. The hashtags are "Who make the teenage girls pregnant" and "Punish the men who make the teenage girls pregnant." So we know that teenage pregnancy has gone up in that area. Also from the HIV reports, we know that a lot of older men are having relations with younger girls. So World Bank forecasts end-year inflation of 9.8% for Ghana. And okay, let's get into some sports. Courtois, critical of UEFA FIFA calendar, warns more injuries will happen. Gets vaccinated to play in Aussie Open. Minister tells players. Oh wow, so tennis players planning to compete in the Australian Open in Melbourne should get vaccinated for COVID-19 to give themselves the best chance of playing the Grand Slam. An Australian official has spoken. Nigeria not the best in Africa now. Of course, they're talking about football and the Super Eagles. Germany becomes the first team to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. Beaten Wilder has no plans to retire. Of course, that's Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And Wilder lost, we know that. So, Israel, this one should interest you. 2,000 fans to watch Hearts versus Wydad clash. Yeah. So CAF has given approval to admit 2,000 spectators for the Total Energies CAF Champions League between Hearts of Oak and WAC of Morocco. Do you want to go?
No.
Why?
I would follow the commentary and watch it on TV.
Okay. Back page of the Ghanaian Times. Black Stars brush aside Warriors in FIFA World Cup.
Really?
Yeah.
Brush aside? It was 1-0. If you...
So that's why it was a brush, not a push. It was a brush. It was a brush aside, but congratulations to
the brush suggests that it was easy, but...
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was, I remember at some point the commentator was like, well, the game hasn't been that remarkable. But anyway, but Israel, I mean, just a quick one, just before you go into it. It's interesting, though. I was asking a friend who was watching the match yesterday, does it really make a difference, the kind of coach we have? Because we've gone from losing games to winning the first 2 after Milo took over.
Well, it's become obvious that the coach is making a difference.
And he benched Ayew. I mean, Dede as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
So it's about having someone who can stick his neck out and stand his ground and say, this is what I'm doing, and there's nobody who's going to question it.
Mm. Or you can question it, but it's not going to change my decision. Okay, all right, well, that was it. So.
Okay, so we move to the Finder, and we have the 57 radio stations shut down, others back. That story about the restoration of licenses also here. So on the front page, but the main story is on page 2, and so it's taking a different angle. It talks about 57 radio stations shut down, others back. So it says the governing board of the National Communications Authority has approved the grant of a total of 133 FM radio broadcasting authorizations, which include new applications from entities whose FM radio stations were closed down after the 2017 FM audit. And they're also asking the question whether they will get their frequencies back. It is, however, not clear if the closed down radio stations will be getting their old frequencies back. This is because the NCA allocates frequencies based on availability. So if it turns out that somebody else is taking that frequency, means you're not going to get it back. So yeah, that's the story is here. And also on the Finder front page, Chief of Staff institutes Teachers Motivation Fund for Zjavi Senior High. No Ghana card, no salary, effective December 1. That's the controller saying that. And I'll bring you that story. The Controller and Accountant General's Department has announced that effective December 1, 2021, workers on the government payroll who have not registered for Ghana card will not be paid. According to the department, all existing and prospective government workers are to ensure that they are registered with the National Identification Authority and obtain their Ghana card numbers before December one. So this goes out to you out there. If you're a government worker and you don't have your Ghana card, you should go for it.
You see, Israel, can I just say that, honestly, no. I'm not like Sheda understanding that it feels now it's beginning to feel like strong arming. Like there are some things you cannot do if you don't have your Ghana card.
Exactly, as happens elsewhere in developed countries.
I have my passport.
No. You have your passport, but I'm sure you have lived in the UK before, and it's important that you have a certain identity, which if you don't have...
I mean, they don't have like a UK card. It's either your driver's license or, well, your passport.
Yeah.
I mean, which is simple.
So what they're trying to do, I completely understand what they're doing, and I completely support it, where we should be able to identify everybody in this country. We have people who would have 2 passports. We have people who can get 2 driver's licenses. We have people who can get, but you can't get more than 1 NIA Ghana card. You can't get more than 1.
Really?
Because you're using your biometrics.
I love how but passport too, you're using your I love how you sound so optimistic. You cannot get
optimistic.
More than 1 Ghana. Let's give it a few years. This is Ghana. Are you kidding me?
No.
I'm sure there's some quasi station set up somewhere.
The details that they're taking your biometrics, they're taking your...
yeah, they're doing that for passports as well.
I'm not sure.
No, they are doing it for passports.
So they're doing this and they're allocating 1 number to you.
Same as passports.
This one, okay, so they're putting everything together in the NIA, in the Ghana card, so that you can use your Ghana card to get your passport.
Yeah.
They're making things...
Even though you are using your passports to get your Ghana card.
They're making things very easy. And eventually, everything will become very...
I still don't understand.
What don't you understand?
I don't understand why my passport is not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah, but why?
Because we're migrating.
To where?
To the Ghana card.
Yeah, but we still travel with our passports. And we're using our passport to get the Ghana card.
So you're going to use the Ghana card now to get your passport. Okay.
And still, when you go to the banks now, they're not accepting the Ghana card.
Really?
Yet. Yes.
Well, why are they doing that?
Because it's not fully on the system.
Why are they doing that? Okay, I'm going to call...
Passports, license, I get it. No, I get it. We want to do the Ghana card thing. Actually, I don't get it. But whatever. We're doing the Ghana card thing. But this is beginning to feel like strong arming. Like the whole SIM thing is complete strong arming because people, they know that, okay, people are very reliant on their SIM stuff. So if you don't why? I don't want to do, let's say, for example, I'm playing the devil's advocate. I don't want to do a Ghana card. I'm playing the devil's advocate. I don't want to do a Ghana card. I have a passport. I have a driver's license.
It is law. You have to do it.
It's also law that people shouldn't drink and drive, and yet look at the numbers.
Okay, so?
That was a bad analogy. That was a bad analogy. It's a really bad analogy.
But yeah, I mean, everybody should go get there.
The point is that the strong arming is becoming too much. And
it has become necessary. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, if we can strong arm at this level, why don't we strong arm on every level? How are people still getting away with not paying tax?
This is what we're trying to do.
This is not what, no, we're not. Okay. I don't believe
so. If everybody gets their NIA, then if everybody gets their Ghana card, and you're going to buy, we
need to speak to the NIA.
They should even use at some point.
Did you do it whilst I was away?
Which one?
The NIA.
No, we haven't done it.
Okay.
They should at some point make it impossible for you to buy electricity if you don't have your Ghana card.
Why?
Yes, that way. We can identify each and every citizen.
And we cannot do this with our passports?
No, not everybody has a passport.
Well, not everybody has a Ghana card now.
But everybody should get a Ghana card.
So why didn't they just say everybody should get a passport?
Oh, no. The passport doesn't work. Because the passport, you need a passport to travel. The Ghana card, you don't need to travel if you're having the... So it's just a basic identity. I don't know why you're making such a fuss.
I'm trying to find... There's a story about the fact that the NIA and GRA offices where they're registering these Ghana cards are choked.
Because people failed to do that when we started registering over a year ago.
Do you have your Ghana card?
I do.
Which is why you are talking so much. I don't want to go and spend 3 hours.
So where were you when they were asking people to come get their...
They were doing it behind the building. I was at home. Are you people, they worried too?
They were doing it behind your building?
No, behind this, like our building here.
And you were at home?
Yes.
But it wasn't only once. They came several days.
Yeah, I was at home all the time. I'm looking for the story. And now me who had trimmed me, so I'm doing advocacy for...
Okay.
Some people were sick. Some people were outside the country. Yeah, well, which is why the argument is that they're doing it now.
This didn't happen over 2 days. This didn't happen over 2 days.
Look, we need to have a conversation with the NIA because, look, I don't understand. And I know that there are people like me who still are not understanding. And especially this whole queuing
We
thing.
have to make you understand.
And so let's get the NIA.
What is it that you want to know that I haven't told you? What is it that I haven't told you?
How much is it now?
It's $250 if you go to the NIA office.
It's 250.
Hold on, no. 250 cedis if you go to the NIA office, head office, which is premium service. Okay?
Why?
But if you go to the GRA offices, it's okay. You can get it.
You can get it for what?
For free.
For free?
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be free.
I'm saying if you go to the NIA head office, premium
Why?
service.
It's the same. Can you hear everybody screaming why into your ears right now? Why? Can we please play Adina's song, Why? Why, oh, why, oh, why?
Why don't we get... Okay, let's discuss this.
Are you resigning from your role as Chief Marketing Officer for the NIA?
Yes. They have to come in. They have to come in.
Explain that.
Yeah, they have
so
to
we have to have a conversation with them because I think a lot of people are still a bit unsure.
I'm going to call Professor Tefa when we're done. Okay, we're supposed to be done with the news review.
We are
I'll call him.
Okay, call him. And let's have a discussion about it. But
get him to
250 cedis, NIA.
For premium service, they have their head offices at Tetekwashi, around Tetekwashi.
You mean the old Tetekwashi?
Yeah.
Because it's the Accra Mall now. That's where Tetekwashi used to be.
Tetekwashi interchange.
So where is it exactly? Opebia House?
No, behind Standards Board, somewhere, if you take that road by Standards Board, that could take you to Gimpa. There's somewhere there.
Okay, all right. Anyways, this
of
has
course,
been...
there's a long queue there as well.
Even for the 250 CDs?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this has been...
Because we like last-minute things too much.
Because we don't understand why we need a Ghana card. I have my passport. I have my driver's license. I have my voter's registration. I am Ghanaian. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anyways, this is... what is this, Kra? This is the AM show. It's the news review on the AM show. We're having a discussion about Ghana card, which was completely unscripted. But I think that we need to possibly continue. I don't know. And we're going to try and get Professor Kenneth Tefa at some point to have a conversation. Yeah. And we love to know the challenges that you are facing. We know that there are long lines if you're trying to go and get your Ghana card. Because right now we're being pretty much strong-armed into doing it. Like, you can't get your SIM, you can't do this, you can't register for this, can't register for that.
Because we like doing things.
Because according to Israel, who has resigned as chief marketing
Because we like doing things at the last minute.
And if you're a government worker, you will not be paid if you don't have your Ghana card.
Exactly.
Wow.
This thing started a long time ago. I got my Ghana card a long time ago.
It's just a year. And he didn't join the queue. Did you join the queue?
I did.
Really? Of how many people? 2?
No.
How many?
Why is this about me?
Who else should it be about? You are the only person who is on your side. Haven't you noticed?
I had to wait for a while before I got my
What's your definition of a while? 2 minutes?
I didn't get it immediately, by the way. I didn't get my Ghana card immediately.
Yeah, you came back for it. But you definitely didn't pay 250 cedis.
No.
Exactly.
And everybody else in the queue with me didn't pay 250. It was free.
So why is it still not free?
It is still free if you go to the GRA offices.
And join 1,500 people.
Yeah, because you didn't do it when the queue was much shorter.
So it's punishment, exactly.
No, if you have to pay, there are consequences for everything.
Why should there be consequences for a Ghana card? Like, we are not 5 years old. It's a Ghana card. I don't want a Ghana card. Okay, I'm
Are you
going to
sure
leave
you
myself.
don't want? You don't want the Ghana
No,
card?
I do need. I need it because otherwise I'll lose everything. Exactly. Anyway, a lot of this has just been fun banter. The Ghana card is something that we've been asked to get. We've been ordered to get. So let's adhere with the direction that the government is moving in and get your Ghana card. But we will have that conversation because a lot of people who are struggling with getting it, knowing where to go, and all of that. So we're going to do that. Mainly for myself, and then you'll benefit as well if you're a listener. Just kidding. We're going on a short break. Israel wants to say something.
Before that, I want us to go and do the news review on My Joy Online because I've seen this story on the business page, and okay. So let's get to My Joy Online. Let's get to see the stories that are there. This one on the business page says government. Okay, let's start with this one. Restructured Ijapa royalties agreement to be resubmitted to Parliament. I didn't see that story in any of the newspapers, so it's important that we put that out.
Is that the one that you wanted to do?
I'll come to that. There's another one. And then Justice Onyenuga was just waiting to sentence Opuni, lawyer tells Supreme Court.
There it is. Charging for Ghana card is part of revenue model.
Yeah.
What is a revenue model?
Because the first one, they said it's free, so everybody else picks up the card, No,
what is that?
But then it gets to a point where they need to keep the business. I mean, they can't be giving free Ghana cards for forever.
Do we not pay taxes?
It's a private partnership.
And there's a budget for it.
It's a public-private partnership.
There is a budget for it that came out of our taxes.
Okay.
If it didn't come from our taxes, it came from our cocoa and oil.
That was for those who moved the first time.
No, but you can't do that. If you're budgeting, you budget for your whole population. How do you say that
They budgeted for the whole population, but not everybody went for it.
Yes, so those who didn't
there are about 12 million who went for the cards for free.
It's supposed to be free. Otherwise, why did you bring the initiative? Did you ask our opinion?
There were 12 million people who went for their cards. How come you didn't go for yours?
That means that we have a 30 million, so that's less than half.
No, it's not all the entire population that's going to get the card. It's from 15 upwards.
Okay, so let's say it's left with 5 or 6 million. Fine.
Yes.
The point
the
is,
5 or 6 million who are just being recalcitrant, the 5 or 6 million who are being recalcitrant and wouldn't go for their cards. Now they're charging for it.
No. Did they budget for 12 million? We don't have to go. When we had to go, you wanted us to do My Joy Online. Did they budget for 12 million or did they budget for 16 or 17 million?
I resigned as the...
No, you cannot resign.
Officer.
You cannot resign.
Professor Tifa himself should come in.
Professor Tifa will do what?
He should come and talk.
He should come and do his thing himself.
Yeah. Okay. The business headline, if we move up, we'll see the business headline. It's indicating that we're going to need, the government is going to go for, going to borrow, government to borrow.
For what?
1 billion cedis in fresh funds in fourth quarter.
For what? For what? We just made some money somewhere in the newspapers a few days ago.
Maybe some of it will be used to pay your...
The 250 cedi Ghana card.
Yeah, maybe.
Very funny.
So government will borrow 1.04 billion
as fresh issuance.
As fresh issuance to meet its financing requirements in the fourth quarter of this year. Its latest issuance calendar is revealed. This may indicate that government borrowing is reducing. Oh, sir.
I don't understand these things. It's like how the dollar, like you get less cedis for the dollar and they say the dollar is doing well. It's like, okay, we are going to borrow, but our borrowing is reduced. You are still it's okay. It's okay. We are going to do sports. We will be back at some point this morning. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back. And the Ghana Standards Authority is planning to phase out the use of Olonka as a measuring tool on the market. It follows bouts of concerns by consumers over being shortchanged by traders. But how feasible can this be? Well, Joy Business's Jejom Sogli visited the markets and now reports in today's edition of AM Business.
Standards have been a major issue when it comes to the informal sector in Ghana. Most grains on the market are taken with the popular Olonka or margarine tin as it is called. In 2010, there were calls for the revision of the age-old conundrum of getting standardized scales to function in Ghanaian markets. Recently, the Ghana Standards Authority revealed that plans are being put in place to ensure that the market is filtered in order for a common measuring tool to dominate in most sectors. Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, made these revelations.
Now, our standard development should be demand-driven. Let industry pay for what they need so that they can use it. I mean, we have standards for plantain chips. People are not using it. They must use it. And the standards are good. In fact, if you prepare plantain chips according to GSA standards, trust me, you every day eat your plantain chips.
Interesting on the one. So if its standards are demand-driven, they should pay. What does it mean? That means that going for industries are supposed to be paying for the standards that will be set. Why?
They have to pay to develop it.
Patenting or what?
No, what we are saying is that, okay, you want to say that if you want to sell kenkey in Ghana, it should be 1 kilogram. So far, the kenkey we have in Ghana is 400 grams. And it is a problem because sometimes they
have you set standard for kenkey in Ghana?
We need to set standards for kenkey in Ghana.
What is delaying the authority?
Well, what is delaying the authority is that we are dealing with an informal sector who do not or who does not have skills. And I know that is something you will roast me on, and I stand roasted because that's the truth. We don't have the skills.
What is stopping the authority? I'm saying, what is stopping you from doing that? I still believe that the Olonka is still being used on the market.
It's a problem. It's a problem for our economy. It's a problem for our digitization and for our formalization. It's leading to farmers being cheated. Has the authority lived up to what it should have done?
Yes.
My insight is that to the extent that the market is not formalized, we haven't lived up to our mandate in that respect. But much as there are reasons, that is not an excuse. What have we done now? We've said, look, market women, talk to us. And I'm glad that they are now pushing us. The start of any standardization exercise is voluntarism. Because when you push the market too hard, people resist. When they resist, it will fail. We are dealing with people who are at the lower end of the scale. Now they have understood. We've had chiefs from various jurisdictions.
Unlike Ghana, where anything called Olonka is assumed to be equivalent to a kilo is a kilo at most places in West Africa. One challenge with this mode of measurement is the various manipulations of the objects that exist on the market. Some of the tins have already been stuffed with papers, whilst others have been punched upward to reduce the quantity of produce they can take.
I'm here at the Kaneshie market to engage some sellers on whether it is something that is laudable, it's something that they are going to accept, and it's something that will help them in their businesses.
Because auto Olonka na okonya bi woso says scale.
They will not agree because when they buy with the Olonka, they get some profits. But if they are going to use the scale, they'll prefer to buy the whole bag themselves.
Right now, the rice that comes in the pack is not up to the usual 50 kg. It is sometimes 45 kg. So the wholesale price is not the same price you will sell it for. You will measure the Olonka and the margarine tin with your own discretion so that you can make profits. So if you are asking us to use weighing scales, we cannot measure. You didn't give us the money to trade with.
Media mean to me yes, I saw be by any side, yeah. Well, media mean to me, yeah. We perfume rice, you know.
One Olonka of perfumed rice is 20 cedis, and this is 3 cedis 50 pesos. Broken rice is 3 cedis, wache 3 cedis. We cannot use the machine. Personally, I won't use the scale.
Media minimum na mi fa kilo ya juma machine ya nkyerɛ ya machine ne sɛsia mo ba kyerɛ machine dia media me ye
As for the scale, it is not good because if someone asks for an addition, how will you do that when you are using a scale? Some of us are not educated, so we can't use the scale. How will I know I have hit my target? And what if the buyer is educated and decides to cheat me?
For some traders, they lack proper education to be able to maneuver their way around a standard weighing scale. Aside sellers of cereals and grains, some tomato sellers use the Olonka as a measure for their items. Ekia Mansa, a tomato seller, narrates the processes involved in cutting her produce to the market, which is why she thinks a standardized scale may not be an effective tool for her business.
First, basket. The basket way and a susu digum. First, and yet me 6, ye 7. Says here and your cofa. Where ye 5. First, where
at first, we could get at least 6 baskets from a box of tomatoes. But now, the maximum you can get is 5. Let's say a box is 300 cedis. And a basket is 50 cedis. When I get 6 or 7 baskets, I can make profits.
50 Ghana. And I'm a cofa. It's 50 Ghana no. Na me 6 say 3 million. Ti se bia nke se nyame boa me. Na me 7 na. 7 no me de e baako. It is a me ton na se nyame ye madom. Na bia ansai wo mu a. E na bia 6 na me yi na me de tis kedua no. E bia kakra baba beda baako we so. Baako na beda e chire no. Beba bedaso be sesi ano omo hihye we no mo dugu adaka ni nti wo kofa na wo be yi a wanya de eden afọ na wanya ebia mboboye kakra akomi kakra.
But now, because of the way they measure, you can get just about 4 baskets from the box and some rotten ones. So after sorting out the good ones from the bad ones, I have to throw the rotten ones away. And that becomes my loss.
May you dear Chakani film. We wear the Suegu where you dear Melanie in a film at Tugu. Na car community, Yamatu Gunina, I am a cat. It's a minimum side where I Chaka, we may hear film after Maba Michel Dentinami. We are co boost, you some boost, yes, we. But about Unina, may you dear Chakani and Ako bowling.
So if you ask us to use the scale after all these things have happened, I'll run at a loss.
Right, so there you have it. According to most of them, this is not a move that they are going to accept quickly. This is not something that they think will be an improvement to their businesses. Some of them claim that if consumers are going to accept, then, well, they might as well just go with it. Some also say that they need more education to be able to use the measurements that the scale is going to come with. My name is Stella Sogli-Jejom for Joy Business.
Right, so this is still the AM show, and we'll come back to that conversation about the Ghana card and why people who haven't gotten it, too bad for you guys. You have to pay if you have to pay. Otherwise, you just have to go and join the queues at the... Join the queues. I mean, there are queues everywhere, actually, because...
this is how I'm keeping quiet and you're looking for trouble.
Okay. We'll come back to that conversation another time. But here...
no, not another. Another time seems far away. Soon.
Soon.
Very
we'll
soon.
Come back to that conversation very soon. In fact, I reached out to Professor Tiff. It appears he's busy. He sent me a message I should text. So I've sent him a text. I'm waiting for the feedback. If we can get him, we'll talk about it on the show.
Would love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking about feedback, yesterday we had an interview with the MCE for the...
Lan Kwantanang.
Yeah. Jennifer Dede
Jabeng.
Yes. And she was telling us about The fact that the NADMO, you know, was getting
on the ground.
Well, okay.
So we had some of the people whose homes had been flooded, and so they can't get out of their house.
Yeah.
They were suggesting that if they could get
some of the water
to come to pump the water out, then they could move out of their homes. And she indicated that yes, this was something that they were on the ground, and then they were.
So it was being done. Okay, so let's actually just listen to exactly what she said yesterday.
Listened, and I have read his letter to the divisional commander indicating his intentions to join his people, or lead his people to demonstrate. It's very laughable. It's very laughable, especially coming from someone who was crusading all over the place in 2020, telling people to abandon or dump someone who had brought in so much development to the people of Medina, to try him to do more. And all of a sudden, we want to do demonstrations. If it was about demonstrations, then unfortunately, he cannot call himself a leader. No member of parliament says they are leading their people to demonstrate. That is an easy way out. We have members of parliament who are ministers of state. And we all know how members of parliament play a key role in lobbying their colleagues to bring development. Honorable Boniface served just 4 years in office in Medina. And the level of development that came, major storm drains, 8 of them, unprecedented in the history of our municipality. And you come in, we cannot boast of 1 meter drain from you, and your easy way out of this is demonstration. It's very unfortunate. We need him to do better than that. We have had long-standing abandoned projects dating back as way from Postata Mills' time that the MPP government came to complete. Where was he? Has he taken the trouble to look at that? The immediate step, for instance, with the images that we are looking at, the immediate step is to look at the nearest drainage or the nearest storm drains that are around these areas to consume the water that has gone into their homes. We have other places where during this flooding we would just use water pumps to pump out the water from their homes as an immediate solution for them, which currently is ongoing. Some residents have called on the assembly, and the NADMO is on the ground doing some of these things. But for the major ones that go or stretch beyond the homes and find itself on the street, look at the nearest storm drains around.
Right, so that's the MC for Lankwantanang. And yesterday, there was a conversation that wasn't on air between myself and Enimwa. And Enimwa was insistent that there was nothing happening on the ground. She was so sure about that. And I was like, oh, let's she said it. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. If she says it, I mean, I don't think she would say it if there was nothing happening on the ground. So we said, okay, let's go there and find out for ourselves. So Manuel Kranting went onto the ground to get to find out what was happening. So it was Adom TV actually that went there to find out what was happening, and this was the interaction with the feedback we got.
Well, no pardon course I over 101. Yeah, course if you when work communities no na free. Say when you should not trap won timi pie enkwajum.
We have gotten so many calls today, and most of them are from this particular Uyarifa area. You can see our trucks parked there. We cannot pump the water because there are no drains to pump the water through. You can see the houses built on the waterways. Now we've checked at the houses. None of the houses here have drainage systems. And so it's become very difficult to pump out the water. Now we have the trucks and the machines, but can't pump it out. So we are going back to have a discussion with the municipal assembly to find out how to deal with the situation. We will check whether they have permits or they do not have permits. If they do not have permits, we'll just have to demolish the buildings and allow the water to flow. If they have permits, then we must prepare to give them some compensation before we can demolish the houses.
So permitting to say compensation means be yefro and yefro na yetimi drains no na community no obi ahwato no.
Right, so you heard it for yourself. NADMO says they went there. They were not there at the time we were actually having the conversation in Sense Out, but they went there eventually. They got there until they can't pump out the water because there are no drains for them to pump the water through. So that's where.
Which again is also interesting because she did mention that the MP before had built about 7 or 8 storm drains or something like that. So now how come there are no drains?
So there may be storm drains for other communities. You need a lot more, I guess.
So, I mean, basically she didn't really know what she was talking about. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. And I think that honestly,
make this another NI.
No, I'm not. I just think that, you know, when we have issues like this, it's important for people in power to be factual and honest and straightforward about what's going on. True. A lot of times we're having conversations like this and we divert it by making it a political conversation. And that's what got me so upset yesterday, that I didn't think it was a time to point fingers at people and say, well, you said this, you said this. The point is, and I'm not siding with lawyer Sosu, but he did say that you are the one who is in charge of government's funding and allocations for the area. So when there's an issue like this, you don't point fingers at the MP and say, well, you promised this and you promised that. Is the MP supposed to fund this out of his own account? That's not what the law asks be done. What the law asks be done is that you allocate the money that comes to you and bring development to the area. And at the very least, don't come on TV and say things that are not true, like the people working on the ground, when there's actually no one working on the ground. It's very irresponsible. And yes, this is me calling you out for doing that. Very, very irresponsible. Anyways, which is why some people don't want to live in Ghana, which brings us to the next conversation.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was inappropriate for MC to tell us that there was something happening on the ground when there wasn't
yes.
Anything happening on the ground. Yeah, but it's just one of the many frustrations that people have in this country, and so they will say nothing is working in this country. In fact, the Medina MP Francis Xavier, nothing is working in Medina, but the people who feel that it's not just Medina, but there's nothing happening, there's nothing working in this country, and so they're better off getting out of the country and being elsewhere, which is why I think there are a lot of people who have found this Trini Jonas gentleman who is in New York and keeps doing these videos all the time and talking about having flag, glass and wine. People are excited about it. Of course, he exaggerates. A lot of the things he says are not true, okay? He exaggerates. But yes, a lot of things work there. He's saying a lot of truth. So people here in Ghana, even before Trini Jonas, I've always concluded that we're probably better off getting out of the country.
The grass is greener out there.
The grass is greener out there. And so let's go out of the country, even if we're going to hustle. Whatever job we're doing, at least we're going to get a minimum wage. That's like someone's monthly wage here in Ghana. So we're better off there. And so they're seeking to check out. But Professor Peter Quartey, he has been speaking with Joy News. He actually spoke with Aisha Ibrahim on PM Personality Profile, and he's been talking about the fact that you can make it in Ghana. It's true you can make it in Ghana. Let's just listen to what he had to say, and then we'll come back and have that conversation.
Sometimes even lack of information. You know, there are brilliant young guys out there the mentality is mainly to travel, you know. But if we could educate them and show to them that, look, there's more to just traveling. Yes, you could travel to further your education, but you could earn a living decently whilst in Ghana. I think we need to motivate and educate some of these young ones.
So you did make friends in your area. Which part of Dakuma did you live? Because I know that area very well.
There's a place called Circle Station.
Circle Station.
Yes, Dakuma official town.
Okay.
You know that.
So you did make friends around.
Oh, I did. I did make friends. I had friends from school. I had friends.
Right. So, despite the many brilliant people this country is filled with and the great accomplishments recorded by Ghanaians, many find their future here in this country getting bleaker each day, and believing that they're better off checking out to see greener pastures abroad. Of course, they're inspired by the many examples of their peers who are living quite comfortably abroad, having taken that option to leave. Others, though, are also struggling. Okay, so there are people out there who are also struggling, and then Nima will bear me out. I mean, you've been in the UK before, and you know that there are people out there who are really struggling. There are people who wish they were back home, but they can't be.
Okay.
They can't even afford to buy a plane ticket.
Okay. I think that, yes, there are people out there who are struggling at that level. I don't know if there are that many, because for the years that I lived in London, you know, I was exposed to quite a large Ghanaian community of people who were doing very well. And those who were not doing so well still didn't want to come because, I mean, at the end of the day, life seemed better, or life was a bit better, because the systems work. And because the systems work, you can get into a sort of routine that provides a certain sort of security and comfort. So you know that if you do a certain number of hours, you get a certain amount of money. You know that there's overtime available. You know that there's bank holiday double pay available. So you work and you get your money and you do what you need to do. You buy electricity, you go to Tesco's, you do whatever, you know, and life goes on. You may not be able to grow or get promoted to the heights that maybe you could if you were in Ghana. But then even then, of course, there's nepotism and there's all the things that we deal with here. So you may not be able to do that. But there's an almost advantage for me, and in my opinion. I think if we're having this conversation in relation to young people who finished university, for example, I would say for me, that decision to go and stay there for over 10 years, right, you know, coming out of university, was one of the best decisions of my life that I made. And the reason I say that is because it exposed me to a whole new world, especially of thinking, which is not readily available here in Ghana, because we have a certain mindset about things. And when you live in the UK or you live in the US, and you don't, you know, go straight into a Ghanaian community and stay there, you know, your mind, because the people who live in the UK and US, and it's like they've been living in some village in Ghana for many years. But if you open up your mind, there is that exposure to a certain way of thinking, to a different way of life. I remember every time I come back to Ghana, I would feel like Ghana is like 500 years behind the world because everything is different. Systems are working, the roads are working, there's the traffic ticketing system, there's doing things online, there's courts that are working. I mean, you're summoned to court because you didn't pay a ticket, and suddenly the bailiff is at your door. He knows who you are, how old you are, the day that you committed the crime, and he's hoisting you off to court.
Because they have a very fantastic national ID system.
Oh, whatever. Because they have, I can't believe you. Because they have that system. And there's also the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, at the moment, if we're talking about the UK, for example, the pound is 8. One pound is 8 cedis. You know, so if you want to go away and work for a year or 2 years and you're going to, you know, really save, you have capital. Capital is a big thing in Ghana, gathering money to do something. Yeah. You know, it takes prayers, your fetish priest, your native doctor, your ancestors, to be able to gather money to do something. You know, and I remember that when we were in tech, during holidays, people will go, you know, and go in the cyborgs, you know, go for, you know, holidays, come back, you know, they've made money, they've done construction, you know, they've come back, they have, some of them were building, you know, by the time we finished tech, some people had built houses from traveling every semester to go and work. Can you do that in Ghana? Can you do a part-time job during holidays and buy land? Can you do a part-time job during holidays? And even, you know, when you go through the process of working on or interning, because I went to school, the education system is different. The way you are taught to think. Thinking is rewarded. Having an opinion is rewarded. Being innovative is rewarded. The systems are working. There's corruption everywhere, yes. But the systems are working. You know that if I work as a nurse at this grade and I do this, automatically I slip into the next grade. Automatically I slip into the next grade. It's not because my auntie's cousin's father's brother, sister-in-law's side boy likes me or doesn't like me, so suddenly I can get this position or I can get that position. So thank you, Gomez. Okay, Gomez says, yeah, my monologue is over. But you know, so for me, I hear what Professor Peter Quartey is saying.
After all that you've said, you came back to Ghana.
I came back to Ghana more equipped. I came back to Ghana because I felt that, okay, I've gotten what I need. I didn't think I would have gotten it from staying here.
All right.
I think I would have been a completely different person if I had stayed.
All right, so we have some others joining us for this conversation. Enimwa believes that really people should be given the opportunity to go out. Or when they get the opportunity, they should go out and make something of their lives and come back if they want to, or continue staying there, because she strongly believes that the grass is greener out there. Yes, the grass is greener out there, but not everybody else gets to enjoy the green grass out there. We have a few people who are joining us for this conversation. We have Baba Hewting, Yawusu Edu, and Julius Anthony and John Akofo. They're all they all have their position on this matter. So we'll bring them into the conversation, and maybe we'll start with you, Yao Owusu Edu. What do you make of it? Do you feel that you can make it here in Ghana?
Yes, I personally believe it's possible to make it here in Ghana, in as much as the conditions are really tough. I have this feeling, going out there, you might not know what the situation might be for you. So in Ghana here, with a little bit of education, with a little bit of push, you might be able to make it. Emphasis on the might, because the situation might not be the same for everyone. But okay, there's a high chance you can make it.
Yeah, have you lived outside of Ghana before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, but you have traveled?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you can see the difference in the way things work, depending on where you traveled to, that is.
Yes. There's a vast difference. And like I was saying earlier, it depends on the circumstances you have. Maybe some opportunities you had since growing up. All these can affect the kind of person you turn out to be in Ghana here.
All right, let's bring in Baba Hewting. Baba Hewting is actually in the UK. She left Ghana to go to the UK. So Baba, I'm sure you're one of those who say that, it's better to be out of Ghana, to be somewhere else, to enjoy the green pasture. What has it been like for you?
Sorry. Okay. So the experience has so far been awesome, and I can't agree less with the co-host, Enimwa. She said everything. Yes, you can make it in Ghana, but it'll take you such a long time because the system is just not working as it's working here. So when I came, I've only been here for a week, and the feedback that I give to everybody, I'm like, everything is working here. And I'm even isolating. And if I can see from isolation that everything is working, then I mean everything is working. My Wi-Fi is on 24/7. I go out to post something, the next day is delivered. You order something online, it comes like without stress. You don't have to call the delivery guy 10 times, argue with him, stuff like that we experienced back in Ghana. So yes, you can make it in Ghana, because before I left Ghana, I had some opportunities to work. I just finished my national service, but I still got opportunities in some really good places. So yes, if you go out there and look for the opportunities, you will find them, but it'll take you such a long time, to make progress than you will if you were outside in a country like the UK. Okay,
so Baba, you've been there for just a week, and you're in isolation, and yet you feel that the system is working 24/7.
Yeah.
and glass
Yeah, I think
and
so,
you're in
because
heaven.
I can order food without stress. I can go out to post stuff without stress. Like, it's not like that in Ghana, obviously.
But you should also appreciate that when you get out of isolation, life may be very different.
Well, yes.
So why don't you just hold on?
How much more different? No, but how much more
Again,
different
the
though?
system is working. Even if it's working from far, like I'm just indoors and it's working, I'm just thinking if I go out there, well, it'll be challenging because it's a new environment and all that. But even with that, you use the Google Maps, and then because of postcodes and stuff like that, it will take you exactly where you're going. It's not like that in my country.
Baba, please. The Google Maps works for me. I mean, I can use Google Maps to go everywhere, except,
really?
well...
When I was in Ghana, it wasn't working for me, to be very honest.
Maybe it's your internet. Let's bring in...
Which is the point exactly, because she's had uninterrupted internet.
No. Okay, so internet, it depends on which service provider you're using.
In Ghana.
Because there may be service providers
in
out
Ghana.
There. Yes, but there may be service providers out there who...
over 10 years, I never had uninterrupted Wi-Fi in the UK. Never had power, Doomsaw. Never had my taps not running.
You didn't have Doomsaw?
Not one.
Oh no, but there's Doomsaw in the UK.
There's not Doomsaw. If there's a technical issue,
there are power outages.
If they have power outages,
and there are fuel crisis.
The fuel crisis because there's too much fuel and not enough drivers. Isn't that the kind of problem you want in your life?
No, but
like I have too much money and I don't know how to spend it.
Let's bring in Julius Anthony.
Okay.
Where do you stand on all of this?
Julius, you have to unmute. Oh.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think it's very tough. It's very tough making it in Ghana as you would make it in other jurisdictions. I mean, I agree so much with Baba and the lady in the studios about everything they have said. And I have been in isolation in China, so I can tell whether or not isolation would make things, worse when you get out of isolation. No, when you get out of isolation, things would even be better. I was equally in isolation in Ghana when I came back, and I couldn't get things delivered to, the airport, where it's hotel and all that. It's tragic here. But then I speak for a lot of Ghanaian students, millions of them, when I say that making it in Ghana is a tough thing. Getting scholarship, for example, in Ghana, you would have to bribe your way through. Recently, I've had several reports of students who applied for scholarship at the Secretariat, and we have people over there asking poor people who need scholarship to pay 50,000 Ghana cedis before they get the scholarship. Some of them make the students sign up half of their allowances before they even give them the scholarships. This is very, very bad, and you won't have this situation in other jurisdictions. I speak for the millions of students who go to teacher and nursing training schools because of the kind of poverty they are suffering in the country, and believe that they could get allowances to make their lives better and get into school, and the allowances do not come in 6 months. Their lives get worse and worse. I speak for them when I say living in Ghana makes lives better for you. I speak for millions of Ghanaian students, thousands and thousands of them, who apply for student loans and they don't get the loan for years because the fund which has been set aside to provide loans, that's the GET fund, has been mortgaged. And where does the money go to? We don't understand. So I speak for them when I say leaving Ghana saves you a lot. I speak for millions of Ghanaian students and millions of Ghanaians who can't get healthcare and would have to parade their mothers, their sisters, their brothers on social media, begging for money to look after them. I speak for them when I say that you would have to leave this country and establish yourself in a way such that your basic conditions, especially your life, that not on things in this country. I speak for the millions of Ghanaian students who could experience rapid delivery system, active and fast internet connections. I speak for millions of Ghanaian students who can pay 3 cedis for delivery for a distance as far as from Cairo to Accra. Cairo, Egypt, to Accra. If they are in a place like China, you'll pay just 3 cedis for a delivery of that kind of thing. I speak for millions of Ghanaians who are students of history and who know that elites, like the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, like the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Mahmoud Bawumia, like the Minister for Education, Edu Chume, and all the others at one point in time had to establish themselves outside of this jurisdiction. I speak for millions of students of history who know these things and know very well that one way or the other, you would have to get out of this jurisdiction and make your life better and come back. I speak for the 499 law students who have passed the 50% threshold, but are now being removed by the General Legal Council by new regulations, which they have just introduced because they feel that legal education needs to have a drawbridge and they should limit the number of people who should have access to it. I speak for them when I say that life is better outside this jurisdiction and everyone should strive to be outside of this place, establish themselves, get the legal education they want to get the needed healthcare coverage they want to get the scholarships they want to get the employment they want to get. I speak for the hundreds of thousands of national service personnel who have been posted this year to places that are new to them, and they would have to go there without any assurance of accommodation, without any assurance of transportation and all that, but they are going to serve this state. I speak for them when I say you have to leave this jurisdiction. All right. Please, this conversation is obviously one-sided. Hey. It's something that is not up for debate. It's something I think the president of Ghana himself agrees with when he spent a lot of years in France practicing his law and all that. So let's not drag it even long.
Julius.
People should leave this country.
Julius, your political party, what is the name? Your political party, what is the name?
Well, I subscribe to the National Democratic Congress.
I see. No, I'm waiting for the day when you yourself will stand as a flag bearer.
He's been speaking for everybody.
I love it.
We gave you the opportunity to be now. You're speaking for everybody. Let's bring in John
but
Akpafo.
That's not fair. What do you mean he is speaking for everybody? But what he's saying is true. I stand with Julius to speak for the 499 law students who hit the 50% mark. These things, Israel, these things that happen in Ghana. Okay, no. John doesn't mind. I'm talking for a minute.
Oh, but John, you don't know what John.
He doesn't mind. But the point is that these things happen in Ghana. They don't happen in other places. If you go somewhere and they said if you get 70%, this is where you go. When you get your 70%, this is where you go. It's not that after you've got your 70%, somebody sits down and decides that, well, nah, this. And then it's playing with your life.
Granted. But those countries were built by the people who stayed in there to build them. John Akpafo.
So we should sacrifice our children to build a country where all the power is up there.
The country?
No. The people up there.
If we all leave, who should build the country?
Then we leave the country then. Because we've been trying to build it, but you're fighting against the tide.
John Akpafo, where do you stand in all of this?
Unfortunately, I would have to, side with the majority here.
Thank you.
Because I've also experienced a year in Russia. And I know how things work in contrast to how things work in Ghana. Because, who wouldn't want to live in a comfortable situation whereby you know that the laws are working, whereby you know that you are secured of certain things when you are done with school, when you are secured with some jobs, some even part-time jobs whilst you are in school. I've been a student in Ghana for in the university for 4 years, and finding a part-time job to do as a student is one of the worst situations one can ever be in. But take countries like Russia, Germany, UK, US, where at least you can get something to do for 20 hours a week, and then make something for your pocket. You might not have to even depend on your parents whilst you are living there for your monthly allowance. Probably if you are supposed to pay fees, that's when you have to turn back to your parents to pay for you. But then for your monthly subsistence and all those kind of stuff, you don't really need anybody. But is that the same situation in Ghana? When you are done with school, are you secured of any job? That is why a lot of people are paying for special posting to get organizations that would maintain them. And how many organizations do we have in Ghana that maintain students or graduates after they are done with their national service? Just a few, a handful. And so after national service, you it's like you are almost into a new world as a whole, where you have to struggle for your life. And if you compare this situation to situations in other countries, in the countries like Russia, USA, UK, where you know that when you're done with school, even whilst in school, You are given career training, career opportunities. Companies are coming in to recruit. You can get jobs easily than you can get here. Then, I mean, who wouldn't want to live in such a situation? A situation whereby you know that the laws are working on your favor. No matter what happens, you know something is going to be okay for you. Something will be done for you. Not in a situation whereby you have to pay your way through, even though someone has done something wrong to you, you have to pay bribes for the police to investigate. Like a whole lot of stuff that, for me, I don't feel comfortable in. Wanting to live outside the country is not only about the money. It's also about my peace of mind, knowing that whilst I live here, if there's to be any crime committed against me, the police will be willing to investigate. Something will be done, and then I'll just have that peace of mind. You know that when you break the laws, you face the repercussions yourself, and so you just live according to what the law says, but not in excuse me to say the lawless society we have here in Ghana. I mean, it's sad to say, but that's the truth.
Okay, but we have a new IGP, and he's doing things very differently. So, please, you can come back.
I love your hopes.
No, I mean, we've had these things time
on the issue of the IGP, yeah.
On the issue of the IGP, we have seen in this country where a special prosecutor was appointed, and initially everyone had high hopes for him. What happened? Where's Martin Amidu?
Okay, all right.
You know, I like the new IGP so much. Dr. Dampari, he has made efforts to restore some hope. If you look at my Twitter feed, I'm always showering praises on him. But I know how our system works. Order from above would start coming, and all that when politically exposed people are caught in his web. We know how these things work here.
Okay.
So that is the problem. We had a situation where on live television, politicians threaten people. 3 days after, the people are shot. What happens?
Thank you, Julius. Julius, please hold on. Let's go to Kweku Ampem. Kweku Ampem has also joined the conversation. Kweku Ampem, so we've heard the majority of people saying that they want to go outside. Do you also want to go outside? Don't you think you can build something for yourself here in Ghana? Kweku Ampem.
Hi, Israel. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. I am grateful. So I think I have listened to my colleagues, Akwafo. I've listened to Julius. I think for last month, I wrote in BNFT newspaper that most of my friends that I actually completed school with in Legon actually want to leave the country. And if you look at the various statistics that is being given on brain drain and the effect of brain drain on the continent of Africa, it has become very depressing. And I have colleagues who actually live in the US that say that they have trained doctors in the US who are even driving taxis. If you look at the situation of Africa currently, and if you look at the situation of Ghana, I'm not against people traveling, because the issue of globalization and how people travel impact on development of the country. If you look at, from 2000 up to now, there's been lots of developments that you can say boldly that there are people from the diaspora network who are doing so much in Ghana. I think that if you are to look at African Rising, and if you are to look at, the case point in Ghana, if we are all to leave, if I also decide that, okay, so I'm done with school, if everyone decide that, okay, so we are done with the university in Ghana, so we may have to leave Ghana, I think that we will come back and we'll still come and meet the state, the state we left the country as it is. I am MasterCard trained, so I always argue from the point that if we do not have the bold steps, if we do not stay to make things right, like Julius, you've always been mentioning that, this is a lawless country. If we don't complain about the things that bother us, if we don't advocate for education for women, if we don't stay to advocate for education for, the young girl, if we actually do not stay to advocate for, employment for the youth, then who else is actually going to do it? Because if the good people do not fight, I mean, definitely you have the bad people rule. So I am always saying that it is not a matter of you leaving the country for good. I have, made some travels, for some time now. And I always, when I leave the country for even a week, I always have the verge of coming back to Ghana because this is my homeland. I mean, this is where my ancestors live. This is my country that I would need to fix. If we don't stay to fix the country for ourselves and for our generation and for our children, and believe me, no one will actually do it. Yeah. I also, I have always been speaking against policies which are not homegrown. If we don't stay to produce homegrown policies for the development of this country, you wouldn't expect UN, you wouldn't expect EU, or you wouldn't expect UK aid or US aid to produce policies that are going to positively impact this country for our good. So, it's good to travel, it's good to explore, but then use those experiences, use those knowledge that you actually get. You have people going for a year abroad, you have people, studying French for a year abroad in Legon. Once they go and they come back, they actually go there to see new things done. And when they come, they say that, okay, we need to fix our system. And it starts from there. If we don't fix our system, the agenda of digitalization of the economy actually didn't start today. It started somewhere. Possibly, if you look at the giant economies like the US and the UK, it started from there. And now someone actually visited the UK and visited the US and saw that this is actually the system being done there. And it's being brought to Ghana, and we're actually having a positive impact on that. So if you actually travel and you say that you are leaving the country for good, or there's issue of unemployment, so if you stay, that becomes, a very selfish, country to live in. Yeah, because if our forefathers didn't fight for us, we wouldn't have had this freedom that we actually enjoying currently in the country. So, I would want to stay. I would want to fix the country, for ourselves and for our generation, because once you travel, you definitely have to come back.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kweku. You make a fantastic point, and I'll bring in Yaudro to also chip in there. Having heard all the people who are for traveling outside the country, let's hear from Yaudro to again, who believes that you can actually make it right here in Ghana. Yao.
So one thing I've realized everyone talking about is the fact that you can make it, the educational system is better, the systems are in place. But no one seems to be talking about the effects of life outside, the social systems out there. We hear a lot about racism out there. We hear a lot about discrimination. I heard I heard one of my people talking about the fact that a guy who studied medicine here went outside there and the best job he could get was driving a taxi.
That was Kweku saying that.
Yes. Is it because he didn't have the best of skills, or
it's probably because he was earning more as a taxi driver there than he was earning as a doctor here?
But why won't he be able to work as a doctor if he has the best of skills?
Because you have to write an exam. Because you have to write an exam and you have to get the license, because our qualifications from here are not internationally accepted, which is another problem. If you study as a nurse in Ghana, if you go to the UK, you have to do like a reorientation course and then write an exam, as opposed to if you were migrating from, let's say, another developed country to the UK. So you're already at a disadvantage. Right. So yes, he would work as a taxi driver for a couple of years to be able to save up to write the exam, then he can work as a doctor.
But does this dismiss the fact that discrimination exists in outside countries?
Discrimination exists everywhere.
I've had people who come to Ghana and they tell me.
Part of the matter is that discrimination exists even in Ghana.
But how far does
someone doesn't have money to the scholarship? Is that not discrimination?
How far does it go?
Don't we have tribal discrimination in Ghana?
Should we all have?
We have tribal discrimination in Ghana.
Okay, we seem to be talking over each other, so let's hold on. Let me bring in one person. We haven't heard from Baba in a while. Baba, so I'm promising you that when your isolation is done, you would have to go out there and you interact, and that's where the harsh realities are going to hit you. You get to realize that you can't get fufu, you can't get kinky.
You can get fufu in Tottenham. You can go to Bongo Bar in Tottenham.
No.
You can go to Burnt Oak. There's fufu, there's Banku, there's Buffalo.
It's not going to be the same. It won't be the same.
There's all of that. Just hit me up. I will hook you up with all the joints you need.
I promise you, Baba, it's not going to be the same.
It's the same.
You're going to miss home.
There's Kinky House. There's Kinky House in Brixton. The Kinky is even nicer than the 2 CD one they sell at your junction. I can promise you.
And listen, Baba, one other thing. You realize that you can't attend. Okay, when you have when you have a child and you need somebody to take care of the child, the person is going to take as much money as you earn.
That's not true.
That is when you're going to miss your sister.
That's not true. You have childminders. The childminders are not that expensive. The stay-at-home moms who have children coming to them. Besides, the maternity pay system is better. The paternity pay system is better. If you have a child in the UK, they get an allowance every week. The child gets a tax. You get allowances for your child every week. Every week, you go and collect money from the bank. If you don't have a job, you get job seekers allowance every week.
Baba, you wait. You bring me back my stone. Okay?
I doubt that.
You bring me my.
I doubt it.
You bring me my stone.
I really doubt it.
Okay.
Israel, I'm praying so hard that I'll be able to adapt here. And so thank you for the insights. Thank you for everything you are giving me now.
Baba,
but I'm sure that I'll be able to stand it all.
Baba, I stand with you. Make it work. Make it work. Make it work.
Okay, and then just to wrap up this conversation, please mind you that all of you who are saying that when you go, you won't come out, the embassies are watching you. They are watching you.
I don't think they said they won't come back.
Yeah, we didn't
say when they go, they won't come back.
They didn't say that. They didn't say they won't come back.
What did you say?
I actually want what Enyiwa said, that at least to make it right after school, it's quite difficult. So probably going there to, better your life for 10 years and coming back to help the country is not bad. It's not as if we want to go and then make that place our permanent home. No. But then we know that the degrees we are earning here in the country would not make us, get what we want to get in the near future as compared to that particular place. So if I go there and then I'm done with my master's, I stay there for 4-5 years, and then I feel like I'm established now. I can come back to the country and establish my own business, not to go and work for someone who would underpay me or even cheat me. Then why not?
Excellent.
We are not going there to make it our permanent home, because we know this is our country, this is our motherland, this is where we come from. But we want to be appreciated.
Thank you.
So as you are leaving, to fix it. John.
We are leaving it for you to fix.
We'll come back.
Everyone seems to be talking about the good sides of it. But I mean, can't you think of the pressures it has on the family system? Not all families, most families that go out there, they don't come back the same.
Yeah.
Being out there, it has a lot of negative effects.
Like
psychological, the stress, all that.
Stress is good for you. You build resilience.
You really think stress in Ghana compared to stress abroad?
No, but
exactly.
Actually, this.
See, you know what, guys? Let's do this. Let's bring back this conversation maybe on Friday. Let's have this conversation again on Friday. We're going to put you all together and see. Maybe Baba would have gotten out of isolation by then. And if she gets out of isolation and she encounters, or she would have conversation. People are going to call Baba, people are going to call you right there, from the UK, and tell you that, look, life is not like what you see in isolation. That is when...
Can I say something? I promise I won't talk for a long time. I just want to say that as much as I am for it, I'm not painting a picture of some sort of fantasy or complete green pastures. I bathed for old ladies. I cleaned buttosses. I drove taxis. I drove vans.
Baba, did you hear that?
But yes, I drove vans. I paid my own school fees by working.
Of old ladies' parts.
I paid my own school fees by working a night job. So I was working nights and going to school during the day and paying my own school fees. It was not easy But the systems worked, so I knew I could do it. And that is the assurance that we don't have here. I know that if I work 4 nights a week, by the end of the month, I will have enough money to pay my fees, to pay my rent, to get my bus ticket, to send something little home. That's the assurance we don't have. So we're not saying that life is easy out there. It's not. People are stocking the Tesco shelves and Sainsbury's shelves and working nights and sweeping floors. But at the end of the month, you can count to the T how much money you are getting, and you know that this system is working. If I work hard, I will make it simple.
Okay. Thank you to you all for joining us to the conversation. As I indicated, I think we should bring back this conversation on Friday. But thank you all. Kwekwa Mpim, Julius,
John,
Drew, Baba. Thank you all for the conversation and for your insights. And we wish you all the best wherever you find yourselves, whether you're staying here in Ghana or you're going abroad. And then may you get the visas you need to.
And Julius, I'll vote for you when you stand for office.
Thank you very
have
much.
my
I'd
vote.
like to hear concert.
Okay, so thank you. We have another conversation coming up. It's about the system not working. We have broken street lights. We have people damaging crash barriers in accidents and all of that. So we have the law in place. We know what is supposed to happen, but we tend not to see the system working as it's supposed to be working. We have the National Insurance Commission joining us for the next conversation. Do stay tuned and we'll be back in a bit.
Plenty, like the whole thing, they look like horror movie. Africa, where I wanna be. Life for me simple as ABCD. The leaders, them are greediness, plenty, make the whole thing, they look like scary movie. Belly full where they kill them. Belly full where they kill them. And my belly full where we thirsty. For every video.
Now listen, TIA. This is Africa. This be Africa, where I wanna be. This is where you got fruits on trees for free. And when it rains, you got diamonds on the ground for free. Sunshine and rain to grow the seed, timber and gold. Plenty. Now we got plenty oil, abundantly. Life will be as easy as a BCD. Prosperity, now this will be the key. But what do we see? Disease, we all we the see. HIV, he kill mommy and daddy. Hungry, we know they get food to eat. In this 21st century, some school and the trees. In the abundance of water, the pool is thirsty. Cause we've had leaders like Idi Amin, Bodi Sanko, Chastela and Era ID. Can you imagine a man like Jonas Avimbi? And in Southern Sudan, there is the Janjaweed. And they terrorize and kill women and babies. And in Somalia, there has never been peace. Liberia, 10 years of brutality. And in Sierra Leone, oh, you don't wanna know. The Lord's resistance army, oh, it's a pity. They fight over diamonds and kill people who have never seen the diamond in their lives before. They kill pregnant women and they think it's funny. I bet you hear about the civil war in Rwanda, where the Hutus and the Tutsis commit atrocities, and they destroy millions of people in Burundi. After Mobutu Sese Seko and hit Zion, then we think say the Congo will forever be free. But Laurent Kunda and his army is still there in the trees. But the Côte d'Ivoire, it be ethnicity. You then destroy this beautiful Africa country. How on earth would you have a leader like Enrique? But for Zimbabwe, it be Mugabe. You know go feel me like Mr. Mandela Mugabe. Your people they hungry and your big belly fully be vanity. Your vanity Mugabe. Hey, Rala Odinga Mwai Kibake. I hear say you people smoke some peace pipe. I don't believe. I think you smoke the weed. Cause you know they even care how your people they feel. Idris Deby, would there ever be some peace in Chad? Your beloved country, Africa Day and the sea. There is the need for speed. I sit back and watch Africa like it be horror movie. Now this be Rumble in the Jungle season 23.
Africa, where I wanna be. Life for me easy as.
Right, so the next conversation is going to be with the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, and it's a conversation we're having in the last few weeks where we see some street lights or street infrastructure, they call it street furniture, being destroyed in accidents, and they're abandoned, they're left that way for a long time. And yet we know that the law has a provision or makes provision for that to be taken care of. So in an accident, yes, the vehicles involved in these accidents are supposed to be insured. Of course, not all vehicles are insured, even though they're supposed to be insured. That's why the police will be out there checking for your insurance and roadworthy and all of that. So who's supposed to pay for the damage caused to street furniture during accidents or when accidents happen? It turns out that the insurance companies are supposed to pay for that. We have joining us now Dr. Justice Yaw Ofori, who is a Commissioner of Insurance, to explain to us in detail how this works. Thank you very much, Dr. Ofori, for making time to speak with us. So this is a pretty straightforward conversation, and I just want us to use this opportunity to enlighten the people out there, the authorities, the Ghana Highway Authority and all of that, to know what they're supposed to do when accidents happen. So my understanding, and according to the law, if there's an accident and some street furniture is damaged, the insurance companies are supposed to take up the bill. Please explain to us how this works.
Thank you very much, Israel. This is how the law works. Now, if you are a driver of a vehicle on public road, you are responsible or liable for any injuries or damage you cause. The liability falls on the owner or the operator of the vehicle. Now, if the owner has insurance, then the insurance will stand in his or her place and then indemnify or pay the losses on his or her behalf. So the liability is not on the insurance company. It is actually on the owner or the operator of the vehicle in the first place. And if such a person has insurance, then the insurance will come in and then give that, make that payment on his or her behalf. Now, under our insurance law, the liability or the amount of money available for such payment, third-party property damage, it's 5,000 Ghana cedis. So if you damage a street light, the most you can claim from the insurance company, assuming the person has insurance, the most you can claim from the insurance company is 5,000 Ghana cedis. That is the basic, unless this person has purchased extra liability insurance to give him a bigger coverage. So the insured has the option of buying insurance more than the basic 5,000 Ghana cedis that the law requires. Now, what society needs to have is to have, let's say, the roads ministry have a claims unit that can track vehicles involved in an accident and then pursue the insurance companies involved and then get a recovery. Sometimes it is difficult, but the insurance industry has come out with a motor insurance database, a software that can easily make it easy for you to actually identify the vehicle's insurance company if that vehicle is involved in an accident. There's a short code *920*57#. If you send the vehicle's license plate number to this particular number, follow the prompt, it will give you details of the vehicle and the insurance company involved. So even if it's a hit and run accident, once you're able to capture the vehicle's license plate and you send it to this short code, you should be able to identify the insurance company involved, and you can send a notice of claim to the insurance company, notify the insurance company that their vehicle was involved in an accident, given the location and the date of the accident and time, and that you need to you want to pursue a claim. So it's just very simple as I'm saying.
But do we know, Dr. Ofori, do we know if the authorities are actually making these claims? Because we see lots of them happening, these accidents happening. Next thing you know, the vehicles have been towed away, or the person crashes, destroys it. Because the vehicle is still mobile, they'll move the vehicle away, and we don't know what becomes of the damage. So the damage still stays there. Do we know if they are claiming, the authorities are claiming it?
I don't know. I haven't seen any, but I had a discussion with the Ministry of Roads and Transport and on this same issue. So they wanted to find out if insurance companies could actually come in and actually pay for such losses if the vehicles involved had insurance. And I explained to them, just as I've actually I just explained that, yes, if the vehicle had insurance, then they can pursue the insurance company. But what they needed was an established claims unit that can actually track such accidents. Now, if a vehicle is involved in an accident and the driver leaves the scene without reporting to the police, in the first place, it's a crime. So it's up to civil society to take it upon themselves that anytime they see an accident involving the destruction of state property, they capture the vehicle's license plate number and then send it to *920*57# or notify the police or the appropriate authorities so that they can actually pursue this. So there's room for recovery, some recovery, but it's up to, I mean, the insurance company might not be aware that there's an accident, so they cannot just be chasing you to pay your claim. So it's up to you, the innocent person, to actually pursue the claim.
Now, you say that these companies can claim up to, 5,000 cedis. What happens to the extra? So if you destroy a traffic light and the traffic light costs more than 5,000 cedis, what happens to the rest of it? Who takes up the rest of the bill?
Yeah, in the first place, as I said, is the owner or the operator of the vehicle who's at fault. So if he has insurance, the insurance company will pay up to X limit. The outstanding, the shortfall has to be actually taken care of by the at fault person. So it's up to you to buy extra insurance to get extra protection. So that is how it works. So if you need extra protection, you pay for it. If you don't pay for it, then if there's a loss, the insurance company will pay up to its limit, and they can actually, the innocent person can still pursue legal action against you.
All right. So for this to work, I believe that the Ghana Highways Authority and all those in charge, the assemblies and everybody else should be working in close collaboration with the police so that if there's an accident, the police should be able to inform whichever relevant state agency if there's been some damage to state property. And if there is, then they can hold whichever insurance company is responsible for that damage, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's an attitudinal problem. People think if someone destroys public property, they can get away with it. But once we have a culture of responsibility, knowing that if you destroy public property, you've destroyed everybody's property. So we need to actually pursue the person. Then it will work. So the police should be aware of this, and they should be ready to actually encourage them to pursue insurance. They should actually provide such information to, let's say, the municipal assemblies, etc., so that they can also pursue the insurance. But you can only get it done when you have a well-structured insurance process within your establishment. So that's why I said it's good to have like a claims unit that would actually gather all this information, put them together, and then pursue such claims on behalf of the states.
And then the message, I believe, for all motorists out there is that this is the reason you need to insure your vehicle.
Yes, you are right. You're right.
All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Justice Yao-Frey. I just wanted us to put this out there so that people will know, the relevant state agencies will know and do what they have to do. But one thing we are taking out of this conversation is that there needs to be an established claims unit with maybe the Ministry of Roads and Highways or the Ghana Highway Authority, and even the assemblies, because they are responsible for some of these street furniture. Thank you very much, Dr. Justice Yao-Frey, and I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're still here on the AM show. We have more coming up. Don't go away.
Well, welcome back. This is still the AM show. Yeah, Israel was ready to... What were you going to say, Israel?
I can say that on live TV.
Oh, thank God for that. Anyway, you know how...
No, okay, I can actually say that on live TV. Today is no bra day. Yes. And the ladies are supposed to feed their tatas.
Their tatas. Free those tatas. So it's World No Bra Day.
Yeah.
And it's trending #1. You see boobs, the power of boobs. Trending #1 on Twitter. And of course, it's No Bra Day. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, it really is all about those boobs, keeping them safe and healthy. Remember that breast cancer is one of the #1 killers of women here in Ghana. So definitely we're doing, all the awareness stuff this month. But let me just take you through a quick things that you should do. Every couple of days, you need to check your boobs.
Before then, what do they mean by No Bra Day? What are you supposed to do on No Bra Day?
Not wear a bra.
Not wear a bra.
Yes, I'm wearing a bra. No, I won't take off my bra on live TV. But when I do get home...
I didn't ask you to take off your bra. Why would I ask you to take off your bra on live TV?
For the cause. No, Gandhi didn't eat for the cause.
I won't do that. I won't ask you to take off your bra on live TV.
Okay.
I won't do that.
Okay.
Israeli won't do that.
Are you talking about yourself in the third person?
I won't do that.
Oh, yeah, you are talking about yourself in the third person. Anyway, so take a moment and feel, let's just go through the quick feeling of boobs. So first thing you want to do is stand up, stretch a little bit and all of that. Lift up one hand, hand over your, like that. Okay. Yeah, and then feel. Yep. So feel for lumps, feel for any unusual mass, feel for anything that's unusual. And it's good if you know your boobs, so you kind of know how they feel naturally. So he's pressing what would be his boobs if he had some. And then you do the other one. I think with this one, the best position is sitting down or even lying down. So you're comfortable, you're relaxed. Okay. Your hand over your head, other side. Feel. Also, stand in front of the mirror, have a look at your breasts, see if their shape is how they normally are, the color of your nipples, the shape of your nipples. You've had your boobs all your life, so basically you know what they look like. Have a look at all those things. If everything is fine, then you're good to go. But if you're feeling little lumps or little BB and things, then definitely go to your doctor, have it checked out. Remember that if it's caught early, it can be treated. You don't have to lose your boobs. You don't have to lose your life. So let's do that. But today, let's let those boobs breathe. So take off your bra and just enjoy the air passing through and all of that. So, okay.
Yeah, okay. So thank you very much for the education and for using me as an example.
Oh, you used yourself. I wasn't feeling your boobs. I can feel them. I can check them for you if you like.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting you to agree. I don't want Louisa's trouble this morning. Good morning, Mrs. Louisa Lai.
All right.
So no, that was a good question.
What's the question?
Our director, Gomez, Patrick, says that why are we using the wrong tools for the demonstration?
Will you volunteer?
So you were saying something about moving on to the next
No,
conversation.
let's if you want to volunteer, I can examine your boobs for you.
Okay, let's talk about other things that are not working in the system because my boobs are. But
your boobs are.
Yeah,
your boobs are what?
They're working.
Your boobs are working.
Yes.
They've
breastfed 2 children successfully, about to do a third, and
About to do a third.
I'm not pregnant. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on. So we've heard about 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% discount, but never 50%. But City Realty is offering 50% discount on their dwelling properties. Prices starting from 210,000 cedis. That's like a price of a brand new car.
Wow, yeah. Well, this offer is for a limited time and on selected units, and of course terms and conditions apply. So if you're looking for a 2 or 3 bedroom home in a gated community, make sure that you call Sethi Realty on
055-143-5555 or 055-143-8888 or visit them online at nyamiduagh.com. Nyamiduagh, so NYAMEDUAGH.com, and just go sample some of what they have available. All right, now we're talking with the National Insurance Commission and the Commissioner about some street lights damage and who's supposed to pay for it and all. So what we have, or what you see on screen now, apparently happened at Tesano, and it has not been fixed. We're using this opportunity to ask the relevant state authorities. Well, you may have missed who crashed into that, but because of where it's positioned, I'd want to believe that the police will be aware. It's pretty close to the Tesano police station, so we'd want to believe that the police would know which vehicle crashed into it, so that they can look out for the insurance company that's responsible and get to pay for it to be fixed. 5,000 cedis, I think, can fix this street light that's broken. Apart from that, it's a danger. It's a hazard to road users. And so we would expect that the relevant state authorities will get in there and get that thing out of the place and get it fixed. So thank you very much, the relevant state authority that's watching us right now.
Okay. So we're pretty much done for today, aren't we?
Yeah, we should play some music.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just say a happy birthday to you if it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great and fantastic day. We're going to end today's show with a song, and it's for you if it's your birthday.
So it was MFF House birthday yesterday.
Yes, it was.
So yes, we're using that belated happy birthday to you.
And
enjoy.
belated happy birthday to you, Israel.
How many times?
Not over the fact that I missed your birthday. It sucks. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow morning. But let me say a big thank you, because we have a fantastic team that work with us. Gomez, Jojo,
Quaver.
Mr.
Quaver. Yeah.
Rama, Sarah, and of course all our lighting and camera crew. It's such a delight to have such a fantastic team who make this possible every morning. So thank you for that. And of course, thank you to you. We know that you could be watching anyone else, but you choose us. So we choose you right back and love you right back.
And that's why would examine. That's why we would examine our breast for you.
But we finished wrapping up. Jojo says we shouldn't wrap up.
All right. So a number of you. Oh, well, that was Kim Promise with Slow Down, by the way. A nice track. Now, a number of you have posted on the post. We put up a post asking you, do you feel you can make it here in Ghana? And you have posted your comments. So it's important that we get to bring you some of those comments. Jojo Kwanson says, it's a scam. Don't listen to this Oluman. If you get the opportunity, which Oluman are they talking about?
Okay, they are saying it's Dr. Forte, but I bet you it's you.
Okay, let's get to the rest of the comment. Kobe says, so if government doesn't educate people, they will not know that you can lead a comfortable life here in Ghana by working hard and taking advantage of available opportunities. Joseph Silvi says, with this constitution we have and weak system, which always favors the rich, there's no way one can make it genuinely here in Africa. Majority can't. And he said, failed system. And then Jamal says, not a chance. We don't need more of their lies. If you get the chance to travel out, please do. The system in this country is making it impossible for the ordinary Ghanaian to make a headway. E.B. Nago says, they shouldn't educate us again on what is not there. We need help to be engaged in entrepreneurship or opportunities to make it through. Shaq says, it is not our will, but it's because of the way the president and his corrupt officials are managing the country. It pains us, but we've not to do. Okay, I don't quite get that bit. Simon says, yes, we can make it here in Ghana, provided the right opportunities are made available to everyone. Ashraf says, that's when God intervenes, because the leaders are not helping us, the youth. So you see, I see all of this, and I blame Trini Jonas for that. Because he's been putting out videos, glass in Kwan, having flag, and the system is working 24/7.
I don't think so. I don't think it's just because of Trini. One minute be idea. I don't think it's just because of Trini Jonas. I mean, I think the reality is that, Ghana is tough. It's difficult, and then it's like the elites keep making it, and those who can't, just a few people are able to break through.
I know.
Yeah. So it's tough out there, but hey, let's hold on, let's believe in God, let's work hard,
Yeah.
And it will be well. I'm not going to do the closing speech again. I've done one closing speech already, so you can do that closing
That's fine. Thank you very much for watching the AM show. From myself and anyone, I would say thank you for watching. We're wrapping up the show, but we'll